Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, December 14th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is LaCroix Poppy himself, a.k.a. Tim motherfucking Geddes.
Making my return.
The
to
return.
The Kinda Funny Games Daily stage. I haven't seen you in like over a week, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while,
Yeah.
right?
You
What happened?
went down to LA. I got a little cold. And so I've been like trying to rock that off, but I'm back. I'm feeling good. Now I'm in that like that post-cold feeling where I'm just like, I feel drippy. You know
I feel
what
that.
I mean?
Yeah, you don't
As
feel
a person.
clean.
But Barry made this joke earlier, but now I need to. Speaking of drip, though, what's going on here?
Oh my God.
What's going on?
Let me tell you, this Tekken 8 jacket I got from the Tekken preview event.
Yeah.
And there's, man, Bandai Namco, they've done this new thing now where, I don't know if it's new, but like apparently they just have jackets for every preview event. So like the last one I went to was Armored Core, and I came back with an Armored Core jacket that I love and adore. This Tekken 8 bomber jacket is probably my favorite bomber jacket that I own now.
We gotta
It's
keep sending
fucking
you.
cool. Yeah, please send me to every Bandai Namco preview event.
Does Bandai Namco make the Dragon Ball Tenkaichi games?
I believe so.
Because I mean, hey,
Yeah,
that's a jacket
if
you
I
need.
come back with a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero bomber jacket, I'm gonna be acting different.
You definitely
I'm gonna be
will.
walking into the studio different. Like
Yeah.
my whole swag is gonna change based off of that.
I can't wait.
I'll
to be
become
in the
insufferable.
presence of you, insufferable.
Hold on,
Bless.
I'm typing
Like punished snake.
Sparking Zero publishers, Namco Bandai.
Boom, motherfuckers!
Send me.
Namco Bandai.
That's what it says on the thing.
Is that what they are now?
Yeah, did they
Did
change
they change
back?
again?
Because yeah, didn't they change already?
Well, they changed many moons ago to Bandai Namco. I don't
Hold
know.
on. If I go to the website, their official website says Bandai Namco.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
just a
that's
thing
fine.
on Google that said Namco Bandai, so I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I'm back.
Good.
I'm all dripped out. This chain that I'm rocking, which is a new chain for me, also is one that I got for the Game Awards.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I love it.
It's very shiny. I
Yeah.
like that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Also, I respect the pink bomber jacket as
I'm a
always.
pink boy. I do
Looking
pink
great.
things.
Tim, enough about all that.
That was for you, Barrett.
Let's. Wait, what did you say?
I swing to the camera.
Okay,
it
there you
was
go.
like perfectly timed.
But it was also just, I'm a pink boy. I do pink things.
Oh no, man!
That's what pink boys do.
It's
You
a
do pink
Thursday.
things.
Yeah, good for
Hey,
Billy.
he's drippy. You know, what do you expect from Tim Geddes on a Thursday? Today's stories include A24 is making a Death Stranding movie, possibly more God of War stories to come, and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in with your questions, squad ups, and more. And remember, patreon.com/kindafunny will get you the show ad-free plus a bevy of bonus content. Housekeeping for you, a new Kinda Funny Xcast is up about Xbox at the Game Awards. You can go check that out. youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Also, look at Gary wearing this festive Christmas sweater. Is that Astrobot? What is, no,
Fall
that's
Guys.
Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Damn. Tim might be right about the Astrobot design.
Yeah.
Because I was straight up like,
Fucking
oh, that's the boy. That's the boy.
Don't give in to Tim's hate, Blessing.
Hey, man.
Well, no,
Finally.
I for one love the Astrobot design, but it is though, like, it's the fact that Astrobot does cute things. You know, like he be Carlton dancing.
Why like that?
He'd be dressing up as Aloy. You know, like he'd
Cool.
cute.
Yeah.
But Tim's over here just hating on the design. I won't stand for that.
I don't like it. I do
Messed
not
up.
like it. You know what I did like yesterday's episode of Games Daily?
Yeah,
I think everyone should go listen to that if you haven't
with
already.
Tam and Andy.
Oh, that one was okay. That one was okay. 2 days ago when it was you and Greg.
Oh,
no,
yes.
jokes. I haven't listened to Tam and Andy, but I'm sure it was great. And he hosted for the first time. That's really
Which
exciting.
I don't think that was the first time.
Yeah, he's such a fuck.
Yeah, no, I remember during pandemic, I think I was sick or I think my
There's also a KFAF takeover game.
yeah, where he hosted with Nick.
Yeah.
Well,
And I also remember, my internet cutting out and him having a host with Greg.
It's so infrequent that any time he hosts, it is the first time. You know.
We should keep that going.
There was a good energy yesterday. It was also my first day back in office for the entire week because I was at home editing stuff. And so because of that, of course, a bunch of technical things are like going wrong. So then like Andy and Tam are just like sitting there for a while. And then we had to then we started Games Daily, and then we had to restart Games Daily a few minutes in. It was a whole fucking vibe, but I think that made for a fun episode between them.
Can I call out this chat that says I don't know we're not supposed to pay attention to the haters, but I'm doing it. Blessing is hosting. Hopefully he reads more than the headlines. What does that mean?
I'm going to bite my tongue for how angry that makes me. Let's just move on.
I feel like we read sometimes too much on the show, but we do it just so we have all the info out there.
I've only ever heard you read headlines and never any news stories on this show.
I put together, every episode of the show is put together by me.
Read more. I don't know.
Fucking read more. Read a fucking book, dude.
God dang it. But yeah, no. For me, that episode of Games Daily on Tuesday, probably one of my favorite episodes ever.
It was great.
Because it was one of those ones where the topic of conversation was so meaty that it had to take up the full episode, right? Like we were on story number 1 for the first full hour of the show. So much so that we cut an ad break in the middle and just continued talking about it. And it was like, we ran the ran the gamut. Yeah, we did that about E3 dying, what E3 means, the Jeff Keighley of it all, and also like how that kind of leans into the Game Awards and the status of it all. What did you think of that episode? I'm not going to talk to you about this topic.
The episode of Games Daily?
Yeah.
Okay, incredible. I thought you guys did great. I love that there's different perspectives. And I think that that's just really what this comes down to is like, at the end of the day, it's all just opinions about this stuff because that's what we're talking about. There is no award show that actually works for everybody because what everybody expects and wants out of an award show is going to be different. And one person wanting every single speech to be 10 minutes and everyone to get that and have their moments, so many people don't want that at all. They'd rather just have this or just have that. And with the state of the games industry of what the games industry is and always has been is different than the other industries. So there's overlap, there is similarities, but games are the only thing that have advertisements the way that they do. And because like we don't get movie trailer E3s, there's like CinemaCon, there's things like that maybe a studio will come forth and like show a slate.
There's like
something.
Marvel at Comic-Con sometimes.
Yeah, but even then though, like all of that it's different, right? Like I feel like it's very rare that you get like a press conference type thing of like, hey,
here's a bunch of trailers.
And I mean, we can use Marvel as an example, but really they've done that like 4 or 5 times ever. Like, and they're like the only example, right? Whereas games, how many showcases are there a year? So anyway, I think that it's very, very nuanced, but I tweeted out about the conversation of all this, where it's just like everyone has opinions on all this stuff. It's the same thing as like, look at our MCU ranking list. It's a goddamn disaster, but that's what it is. Like that it's a group of people giving their opinions. And then when you take a group of people's opinions, it turns into a new opinion. And then I have opinions on that, but guess what? It's totally valid because it represents the group of people that voted.
1000%. Yeah, go check out Tuesday's episode of KindaFunny Games Daily if you want to hear our opinions, inform your opinion about our opinions. We got a new KindaFunny podcast up where Greg Miller picks a fight with God. That's up over on youtube.com/KindaFunny.
Classic Greg.
New Kind of Feudy poll is up right now. You can find it on my Twitter and fill it out if you want to help determine the answers on a future KindaFunny trivia game. It's also up on Patreon, I believe, for everybody on Patreon. If you don't have Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and you want to go find it there, you can find the poll, fill it out, and help determine the answers. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jackson Hampton and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Xreal, ZBiotics, and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1. A God of War Ragnarok dev teases there's more story to come after Valhalla DLC credits rolls. This is Wesley Yinpool at IGN. And don't worry, we won't have Valhalla spoilers because I, for one, have not finished Valhalla. And so you don't have to worry about that. As players battle their way through the just-released God of War Ragnarok DLC, one of its developers has teased there's more to come from the story after the credits roll. The Valhalla DLC adds a roguelike mode to Sony Santa Monica's hugely popular action-adventure, but it also contains a surprising amount of story, which was the focus of senior writer Orion Walker's post on X/Twitter that certainly set the cat among the pigeons within the God of War community.
Thank you for phrasing it that way.
I love that phrase, because it always comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's so visual.
And nobody ever says that phrase in casual conversation. I only ever read it.
That's a writing-ass writing thing.
Yeah, that's something that's just I'm putting pen to paper. And I need a good phrase here. Send the cat among the pigeons. Quote, "You really think the credits are the end of the story?" ? Walker asked. Come on now. What's Walker teasing here? IGN won't include Valhalla spoilers here, but it's worth noting the DLC serves as an epilogue to the events of God of War Ragnarok, and it seems the DLC's credits are worth soldiering through too. Some fans are taking Walker's comments as a fun hint at a third God of War game in this latest version of the series. Tim, have you gotten a chance to pick up Valhalla yet?
I have not, because the Pokemon Teal Mask or Indigo Disc DLC dropped.
What's wrong with you?
I'm playing that. Haven't got to play this yet. Very, very excited. When it was first announced, I was like, oh my God, we're getting God of War DLC. This is incredible. And then by the time the trailer ended, it was like, okay, it's just a mode. I'm less excited. I want to give this a shot, but I'm less excited. Seeing all the tweets and people playing it now and being like, no. This is real shit. I'm like, this is kind of best case scenario. Like a roguelike mode in God of War with new story. Yeah. Let's go, baby. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on that.
I have so many opinions on it. Mostly good opinions, mostly exciting stuff of like, we're doing our God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, either review or impressions. I don't know where Greg's at with it, but we're doing that as a PSLW that we're going to record later today. So I'm going to try to save some of my impressions for that. But what makes me happy and excited about this mode, and after playing through it, I put in about 4 to 5 hours into it so far. And that was mainly just yesterday of me just sitting and playing through a lot of it. What I really appreciate about it, and what I appreciate about what we've been getting a lot lately out of DLC drops / modes, is that they've stuck with me, and they've been more worthwhile than just, hey, here's an extra 4 hours of DLC / story, right? Like for me, I go back to something like Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which was a multiplayer mode that was added into that game months later. That was, here's a bunch of co-op missions, here's a raid, here's a bunch of like other stuff that you can do, and it felt substantial enough to almost feel like its own game. And I think back in the day, in earlier eras, that probably would have been its own game that a lot of people would have ignored, because it is, okay, well, they're dropping a Ghost of Tsushima thing and it's multiplayer, but it's like the same exact mechanics. All right, cool. Like that's like a PS2 era thing to do, of like dropping another game that's basically the same game, but a different version of it. I like that, for that one, it was, hey, it's free. Hey, it's part of the main experience and you can get into it and have fun with it. And God of War Valhalla is a similar thing of, hey, this is a free, different mode that as I'm playing through it, I'm like, this could be its own full game. Like you could maybe drop this as a standalone thing for $30 and it would make sense. But I think where we're at with video games, and where we're at with like expanding on games, right, and expanding on content, and especially like them putting out a game that is working off of all the same mechanics as God of War Ragnarok, it feels like such a above and beyond thing to go, we are creating this mode that is a different genre, right? It is roguelite. It is you going through over and over again. It is you getting the upgrades. It is you slowly upgrading Kratos to then get to a point and then start over and do it all again. But at the same time, we're giving you a story that for many people, and I imagine for a lot of God of War fans, is going to feel like a, wow, like I can't believe you're just giving this to us. I've been
the best news ever.
Yeah, I've been blown away so far by the story. And I don't want to say much about it. Maybe we'll get into it deeper in PS Love You, but it is like a, wow, like I wouldn't have expected. I guess I could have expected this because like they've just been in the riding bag for the last couple of games, but for what they're doing with this DLC and it being a free thing, I'm like, dang, like this is really good. This is really cool, and this is really fresh. And to the point that's being made by Orion Walker here, right? The dev, one of the devs here behind God of War Ragnarok on the writing. Yeah, like I wonder what this means in terms of what more we're getting, because again, I've not finished it, so I don't know what the ending stamp is. I feel like for me, I read this and I go, well, and plenty of roguelites that you play, you quote unquote finish the roguelite, and then what do they do? They're like, hey, go back in for more story and more details. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's alluding to maybe after you roll credits, there's some more hidden story that you can find in the DLC. But I also think the chance of, I don't know, a God of War 3 or a God of War sequel or follow-up, you expect that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just so shocked that like this is the rollout, that it seems to be this damn good, and that it was free, and such a surprise. Like we expected God of War DLC. I think all of us predicted it would be announced at the Game Awards, but I don't think any of us would have predicted it was free. I don't think any of us would have predicted it was a roguelike. Like I think that like what they did, and let alone with story elements and all of that, like this is damn cool. And especially with Last of Us Part 2 coming out next month, right? I think next month with the no return mode. It's just very interesting to look at PlayStation Studios, the PS5 generation, really, and end of PS4, like where there was that transition period, and to look at Ghost of Tsushima and Legends and how they did that, and to look at how they're supporting their big titles with Horizon Forbidden West getting the Burning Shores actual DLC pack. I just think it's cool that they're not treating it like a one size fits all. Like they're experimenting with like different verticals of follow up content for their games. And I'm really interested in what's Spider-Man gonna do. Like, what's Insomniac gonna have planned for Spider-Man 2's expansion? Are they going to? Is it going to just be a DLC pack of like multiple DLCs, like The City That Never Sleeps?
Yeah.
Or is it going to just be one standalone thing? Or is it going to be a different mode, kind of like we're getting with Valhalla? Like, I'm just interested that they seem to have the flexibility to try to do stuff, and it so far have everything I've named has been successes.
Yeah, and like I think for me, going back to the top of my statement of me like really enjoying it being a different mode scenario than like even a standalone DLC, because I think the standalone stuff can be exciting. Like I think about Last of Us Left Behind all the time and how good that was. But for me in like I guess the current era of games, the God of War Valhalla is going to stick with me. Like so far in this experience, this is something that story-wise, I'm going to think about going forward, but then also it's a mode that I could see myself coming back to because it is inherently different from what we get out of the single player stuff, right? I would say the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima Legends when that dropped. That hit in a different way than just single player Ghost because it's practically a different game. Burning Shores and Iki Island with Ghost of Tsushima, both really, really great expansions to those games. Those don't stick with me as much. And I think for me, it is
I feel like you talk about Legends all the time.
No, Legends is great. No, I'm talking about Iki Island, which is like the different, like, area and like the different story thing, right? Those I don't think about as much. And I think that's more so for the thing of it's more of the same. Like it's more, when I play through these main story games, right? When I play through the Ghost of Tsushima single player mode, when I play through what was the other one I just mentioned? When I play through these story modes for these games, right? I am getting Horizon, thank you. I'm kind of getting that arc already of progression, story, like, the mechanics, like understanding what they are, learning how to work with these movesets and all that stuff. I'm getting that arc out of a main game over the course of, for those games, right, 20, 30, 40 hours. And so when you drop a DLC that's 6 hours more of the same sort of flow, it's harder for it to stick with me, even though, like, I think the Horizon Burning Shores, like, boss fight toward the end, I really liked, right? And, like, the Iki Island, the trippy stuff that happens there, I liked, right? But with Valhalla and with Legends and with No Return, and even with, like, the Sifu challenge rooms and, like, the list goes on of different ways to twist your main gameplay into a different thing, for me, it makes it way worthwhile. Like, the Hitman Freelancer mode is another one where I'm going to go back to that forever, right? Because it is a different way of looking at it, and it is, like, the roguelike thing of, I can just play this at any time and enjoy myself. Yeah. I really like the fact that developers and studios are figuring out what are different ways to do this that aren't just story expansions, because I think those are cool oftentimes, right? But I like this. Like, for me, as somebody I'm almost more gameplay driven than story driven at times, I like the idea of a different way to play these games, and so I'm a fan of it. I love it. Yeah,
it's interesting having just played the DLC 1 of 2 for Final Fantasy 16, the Fallen Echoes of the Fallen. Yeah, and it is classic, exactly what you were just explaining, which is like, all right, cool. We played through the 50-hour campaign of this game. We were so embedded in it. We all loved it. So much fun. Bosses, story, everything. I'm dialed in. Jumping back into that world, it takes a second for you to be like, I do not remember these controls. Like, what am I even doing here? How do I get my combos right? All that. It does eventually click, but I loved it. I had such a great time with it, and I would appreciate even more, and I can't believe we're getting more. But it is kind of like, all right, cool. It's hard to kind of rectify fitting this into the experience I had 6 months ago, where it's like this, it does just kind of feel like, here's just more. And more's not always better, even though I really, really enjoyed it. It's like, it's just a funny thing, but I'm with you that, like, it's hard, if not impossible, to come out with like a DLC pack that is just more of the exact same thing when it's like so removed from the experience that you have of having that arc of playing.
And that's my thing, is like that when you do that, it has to hit. I think Left Behind hit, right? I think I didn't play Undead Nightmare, but I know Undead Nightmare hit for people. But that's also like a zombie thing,
that's
right?
Different,
like that's so different from what you get out of standard Red Dead. And so I love how they're exploring this. I also do want to give a shout out to, like, I know with roguelites, right? It's either you love them or you hate them. But like, I feel like a lot of what we're seeing lately with roguelites has been maybe like, I'm going to acknowledge that roguelites have, been around forever. I made a whole video essay about roguelites. I think you can probably point to Hades and go, oh, Hades is where people really opened their eyes and went, oh, fuck, like, we need to do some stuff like this. And like, playing God of War Valhalla, I know it's very direct because Greek mythology, Kratos, all that stuff. And so it's very easy to pull that connection. But I think the connection there is of like, yo, Hades comes out and people on the mainstream level are falling in love with the roguelites, right? Like we had Dead Cells before, we had Rogue Legacy before, we had so many, Binding of Isaac before, right? So many roguelites. But I think now we're starting to see it even more on the AAA level because of something like Hades coming through and having so much success. And it makes me excited because I think a lot of these studios are learning the right thing, especially God of War, especially Sony Santa Monica with how they're doing Valhalla and how story infused it is. It feels like they took a lot of inspiration and like learned a lot of things from even just seeing the way Hades.
You're so hyped, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, dude,
how does this exist? How does Sony Santa Monica God of War game do this? Oh, that's incredible.
And it's free.
And it's
free.
Also, shout out to Returnal. I know Returnal probably had a lot of influence for Sony Santa Monica as well. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Very cool.
For now, let's talk about story number 2. Something else that's very, very cool. A24 is making the Death Stranding movie. This is Ryan Leston at IGN.
Say that again. Just read that headline again, Bless.
A24 is making the Death Stranding movie.
What? What world do we live in?
A24, the studio behind Academy Award-winning films such as Everything Everywhere All at Once, has announced a collaboration with Kojima Productions to adapt Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding into a live-action feature film. I'm going to pause there. What was the movie they put out, 2 years ago that was adapted from the Twitter thread about the girl?
Cat person.
No, it was a girl who went to like Florida. She was a stripper.
Zola. We saw that together.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That movie was great. I really liked that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think about A24. I know y'all think about Everything Everywhere. I think about Zola. We don't talk about Zola enough. That movie was fucking great.
I think we talk about the exact right amount.
Zola was great. Here's the official blurb. Quote, the film promises to delve into the mysteries surrounding the apocalyptic event called the Death Stranding, which blurred the lines between life and death and brought forth nightmarish creatures into a world on the brink of collapse, end quote. And here's a quote from Kojima himself. Quote, A24 is born into this world about 10 years ago. Their presence is singular within the industry. They are like no other. The film they're delivering to the world are high in quality and very innovative. I have been attracted to their creations, and they have even inspired my own work. Their innovative approach to storytelling aligns with what Kojima Productions has been doing for the last 8 years. Now we are making a Death Stranding movie together. There are a lot of game adaptation films out there, but what we are creating is not just a direct translation of the game. The intention is that our audience will not only be fans of the games, but our film will be for anyone who loves cinema. We are creating a Death Stranding universe that has never been seen before. Achievable only through the medium of film, it will be born. End quote.
We're creating a Death Stranding universe that's never been seen before, achievable only through the medium of film. It will be born.
Let's go. We're getting our first.
What does that even mean?
It means
baby.
We're getting our first Strand film, is what it means.
We're already watching the movie. We just don't know it yet.
We're already
also,
in the movie.
It's crazy. It really just hit me in the middle of his statement here. What Kojima Productions has been doing for the last 8 years.
I know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, 2015.
That's not right?
Yeah, man.
That lines up.
That's crazy.
Barrett, can you scroll down a bit? Because we need the people to see that Kojima and A24 have collabed on some merch. This is a Death Stranding A24 shirt.
I'm so mad that it's sold out because I want this shirt so
dope,
badly.
man.
It's for audio listeners, it's the A24 logo, but you have like the Death Stranding, like the little, I guess, the strands that are like kind of coming down from it. It looks so good. I want this so much. I mean, I'm somebody who really enjoyed Death Stranding. I love Death Stranding, actually, to even take it further. And I really like A24 movies as well. I am fascinated by what he said here about the intention is that our audience will not only be fans of the games, but our film is for anyone who loves cinema. And then him also talking about it not being a direct translation of the game and for it being for people who love the medium of film. Because I wonder if this is going to be like, all right, we're not talking about Sam Porter Bridges. We're not. I forget how ridiculous some of these names are. We're not talking about Die Hard, man. We're not talking about Mama. We are introducing new characters, and we're taking place maybe in a different part of the universe, or we're, figuring out a story that is more translatable to film than to games. Because one of the things that I appreciate about Death Stranding is how much that game leans into its themes through its gameplay, and so. You build a bridge in your game, and that bridge shows up in somebody else's game, right? You like people's structures that they build, and like there is this level of connectedness because it's a game that is all about connectedness, right? And like that speaks so much through the mechanics, let alone like the struggle and the feeling of transporting packages across America, right?
Wes, hear me out.
What's
Hear
up?
me out. You spill popcorn in your theater, it spills somewhere else in someone else's theater.
I look down at my lap and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't order caramel popcorn.
Think about
What's
it,
going
dude.
on? But yeah, like I don't think those are things you can do. I mean, those definitely aren't things you can do in a movie, right? Like you have to figure out the ways in which this world you've created and the story you're trying to tell can be told through a film. And I think that part of that is maybe finding a different story, maybe figuring out the universe of it all as opposed to focusing in on Sam Porter Bridges.
Really interesting, man. Like I'm so here for it. I was not into Death Stranding. It was just a little too open for me. It's very much not a Tim thing. But a A24 Death Stranding movie, yeah. Day one, baby. I am so there. That sounds like it can be really special. Sounds like it's gonna be weird as hell.
Which A24 is good at.
Yeah,
you're a Green Knight sicko.
I am. I definitely am. I love A24. The Kojima merch I was talking about there. For anybody interested, it's expensive, but the A24 merch store is simply unrivaled. Like any movie or any collab they do, they put out incredibly high quality, whether it's like merch, like shirts and stuff, or like vinyl collections, or like I got the Euphoria season 1 script collection, and it is stunning. It is a centerpiece of my living room. But yeah, no, they do so much great stuff. Huge fan of A24. I feel like they swing and swing and swing, and they miss sometimes, but they hit so often. And I haven't seen every A24 movie, but I've seen a whole bunch of them. And when you see that A24 splash screen, you know you're in for something.
Yeah.
You know, they've built that identity in the same way Kojima's built an identity. You put those together, it's going to be kind of damn special, man. I wonder how involved Kojima's going to be. I wonder how involved he even can be with how much he has going on right now, right? How many, like,
that man is busy.
Multiple game projects, more than we've ever known Kojima Productions to be working on at one point with Overdose and OD and Death Stranding, right? Yeah. So add a movie on top of that, whatever else is going on, it's going to be interesting. But I'm excited. Kojima's clearly wanted to make a movie for a very long time. He clearly is passionate about film and cinema. So
he's living his best life. Like the fact that he's getting to work with A24 on one of his own movies, and then also work with Jordan Peele and apparently the Avengers on a horror game, right? Like that is so exciting. Like good for him. Like shout out to that. But then also, what is this movie going to be? Like we talk about video game adaptations all the time because now we're in an age where we get Last of Us, we get Mario, and we get Twisted Metal. But like A24 hasn't done a video game adaptation, right?
No, because it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, because that wouldn't make sense.
But then you're like, oh wait, this makes sense.
Yeah, so I like the fact that they look at Death Stranding and go, oh, this is the kind of thing that fits for us. And honestly, it is the kind of thing that fits for us, right? It's weird. It leans heavy on like its artistic intent, and it leans into the symbolism. And like I think, in my opinion, I think Death Stranding tells a very powerful story and has very powerful themes. And like, I think that stuff works. And so I'm very curious and excited to see whether or not it works on the film level. Like I think as much as I want this thing to be good and I think it's going to be good, there's also a chance that it's not going to be good, right? And like I'm curious to see like what that leads into, right? If it comes out and it disappoints or it is fractured, which honestly would be in line.
I don't think that there's a chance in hell it's not.
Like a fractured
even
reception.
The game is, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a chance that this movie is just 100%.
Everybody's like,
beloved.
I love that.
Yeah, that's not A24's thing.
I mean, you're right. You see this trailer for Civil War?
I did.
What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm fucking in.
it looks so ridiculous, and I'm also in. And
the cast is insane.
And it also speaks to like A24 is kind of expanding in terms of like the scope and like how heavy like I think actiony their films can be. Because I've always looked at them as like they're making the artsy stuff, but then they put out everything everywhere, and that movie is fucking actiony as hell.
Yeah.
And this Civil War movie almost looks like it looks like who's this M. Night Shyamalan and fucking Michael Bay had a baby. Like it strikes me as that.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, cool, y'all are making something here, so good for y'all. Also, didn't know Iron Claw was A24. Now I gotta watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
You seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to watch it.
Kevin and Joey saw it last night, and Kevin had a real good time.
Yeah.
Devastating though, he said. Devastating.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Bear, what kind of American are you?
What?
I mean, the idea
it's a reference to the Civil War
of California and Texas being the ones
allies.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, there's something going on here. I understand that this is not going to be for everybody, and it's like, this feels a little too real and close to home because it absolutely is. But like, they know that that's the point. So Like when you look back in history at movies and like at the times they came out, it's funny because we're getting old, Wes. We're now at the point now that things are happening around us that's like history in the making. That like when we're little kids, we're not thinking about shit that way. You know what I mean? We're just living our damn lives. Now we're thinking about how things affect the future and the future and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
You go back and watch movies. We watch a bunch of in-review movies that were made in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And you're just like, oh, damn, these motherfuckers were really saying something about that time period, about what was going on right then,
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn. That's what
Civil
this
War,
is.
like that's the thing is, but like my thing with Civil War is that it's so on the nose in a way that like there's gonna be a twist. There's gonna be a big twist that happens to them. There's gotta be a big twist.
I imagine that there will be.
It's
but
so they got Jesse Plemons.
those red sunglasses.
Yeah,
man.
with the sunglasses, holding the gun, being like, "What kind of American art?" Like, what's really happening in this movie? That's what I want to know. I can't wait for this fucking movie because if it plays it straight, if that really is the movie, I don't know if I have faith in that.
Because I mean, that's the thing is there was a movie that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, with the lead from Glow. That's not Allison Brie. I always forget her name. It's not Debbie.
Debbie.
And The Hunt. Thank you, The Hunt. That was. Hold on. Let me pull this up.
Let me say they thought it was Florida and Texas. No, they said
Betty
California and
Gilpin?
Texas.
But yes, thank you, Betty Gilpin, who's fantastic. The Hunt is a 2020 American satirical action horror film that stars Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank. The plot is in a group chat. Athena Stone. Hold on.
It always starts with a group chat.
Yep. They discuss an upcoming hunt of deplorables at a manor. So you essentially like it's like a battle royale type thing where like they send people out to like hunt people down and like kill them like for fun and for sport.
Love
and
that.
the premise of it all was like very interesting. The trailers look great, and it was one of those things where I'm like, this is a little too close to home. This feels like it could be real, and it's really scary. And it's like y'all motherfuckers better have something to say with this. And by the end of it, they did it.
They didn't have anything to say. Civil War can't be that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Civil War cannot be
Civil
the
War
hunt.
better
man.
have something to say.
Like I remember it was me, Joey, and Gia. We watched the hunt, and we left it like the whole time. We're like, okay, there's gonna be something coming. It didn't. There's the credits. Okay,
Say,
holy
snap.
shit.
What was his last movie? Didn't he make the movie Men?
Yes, which I didn't watch.
I didn't watch that either. Chat, did people like Men? Let me know. While you're letting me know, let me tell you about patreon.com/kindafunny. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can get shows like this one ad free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Xreal. Turn any game you're playing from any console, PC, or handheld into a 130-inch virtual big screen with Xreal AR glasses. Available now at xreal.com and Amazon. Xreal AR glasses usher in the era of wearable displays and are perfect for gaming, watching movies and TV, working at a desk, or checking out augmented reality apps. Xreal AR glasses connect to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, plug directly into your Steam Deck, ROG Ally, PCs, Macs, iPhone, Android. You see where I'm going with this. Kevin Coelho has been playing with the new Xreal Air 2 Pro glasses and unsurprisingly is absolutely obsessed with them.
It's awesome.
It's the big screen experience, perfect for using on the go or at home for playing games anywhere on the biggest screen possible. The picture you see is crisp. The built-in speakers give you rich audio. The glasses are lightweight, only 2.5 ounces. And because you control where the virtual screen appears, you can rest your head, neck, and shoulders comfortably without getting any of that tech neck you get when you're staring down at the screen. You can get your Xreal AR glasses now at xreal.com or Amazon. This episode's brought to you by ZBiotics. We all have busy lives these days, and we can't afford to waste a day stuck on the couch because a few drinks the night before. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol is the answer we've all been waiting for. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Every time I have a Z-Biotics pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice a difference the next day. This holiday season, give your family a gift they'll actually want and use with Z-Biotics. Go to zbiotics.com/kindafunny to get 15% off your first order when you use KindaFunny at checkout. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/kindafunny and use the code KindaFunny at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. This time of year can be a lot. Having to figure out, am I getting a gift for this person? Am I not? Whether or not your family gives gifts during the holidays, you get to define how you give to yourself. And the holidays are a great time to do just that with therapy. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced your trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
And we're back. We have a report. People, in fact, did not like men. Did not like men. But apparently, Midsummer, interesting, according to Sphinx in chat. And also, according to Average Joe, Green Knight was incredible.
It was. It is. Forever will be.
Let's move on to story number 3. Next Spider-Man 2 update is likely coming in early 2024, Insomniac says. This is Taylor Lyles at IGN. Insomniac reveals that the next game update for Spider-Man 2 is targeting an early next year release window. In a statement posted on X/Twitter, Insomniac acknowledged that players were eagerly awaiting for new features such as New Game Plus and audio descriptions. However, the development team needs more time to tune the next update before publicly rolling it out to players, with a release window targeting early 2024. Insomniac also confirmed that it listened to feedback from players and is going to add highly requested features such as the ability to change the time of day and replay missions you previously completed.
Another thing they announced, so like the features people want are being able to replay missions and change the time of day. Cool. Another thing is you're going to be allowed to change the colors of the tendrils.
I saw that, yeah.
And I'm like,
what?
Huh? Is that a thing that people are like clamoring for? Like,
are they talking
good for
about,
them for adding it, but I just think that
I guess I don't want to spoil it, right? But like, what?
I mean, my guess, because we've seen it in trailers when you get when Peter has the black suit and some of the abilities he has where he shoots out like the weird tendril things where he picks a bunch of people up and throws them down. My guess is changing the color of that for the weird tentacle freaks out there who.
See, I was thinking more so.
They're like they like their thing, you know.
See, I was thinking of a different thing, and I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil things, but I do like the idea of if I could change my tendrils from black to red and like just cosplay Carnage, because that'd be sick as fuck. Then you have me.
I mean, that's probably I imagine that's gonna happen.
I don't know, but I don't. I'll DM it to you guys because I think it's gonna be something way simpler than that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Who knows?
Whatever. So this is weird to me. Just that, like, this doesn't seem like there's. I don't know why it's not available now.
It's because they want to celebrate Christmas and other holidays.
No, I get that.
Let these developers have a break, Tim.
Yeah, no. I feel that for sure. But I've always the New Game Plus thing to me. I just don't really. I don't understand. I don't understand what work needs to go into that. But that's why I'm on this side.
That's fair. Yeah, that's why we're here.
I don't understand this. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about this of them. Like previously, was it going to be this year? Like, is this a delay, or is this an announcement?
When the game released and it didn't launch with New Game Plus, I think it was around the time of release that they were aiming for New Game Plus to come into the game before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I put in KFGD what I was talking about with the tendrils.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
That makes sense, but I feel like they gotta add a little bit more than just that.
Yeah. Know? I mean, listen, if I can have some like red or even like give me some green tendrils just cause create my own characters. You know? Do my own cosplay.
I don't know, man. The New Game Plus thing to me, we've talked about this before. Like I just feel like New Game Plus should be available with the game when it comes out, because that's when the most people are going to want to play it. Yeah. Unless you're adding it with like a lot of features and like a new mode or something. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm not talking shit. They could not do anything, and Spider-Man 2 is still in my top 3 games of the year. So it's like, it is what it is. But in a world where we're talking about no return coming to Last of Us and God of War Valhalla and like praising all of that and all this, we're going to change the time of day, which is great. Like, all these are things that people want, but like the New Game Plus, like,
see, I think that's one of those things that's so low on the priority list. And I would love to see what the like poll is of, all right, how many of y'all are really booting up New Game Plus like right when you beat the game? Because I'm somebody who I never really use New Game Plus. The only time I do use New Game Plus, honestly, is when I am years down the road and Greg's like, hey, let's play this game again for PSLW to do a re-review, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just play it at New Game Plus. But I'm somebody, I don't really care to do New Game Plus like that. And I wonder for them, I think when Spider-Man 2 comes out, like, I think the first thing on the priority list are the bug fixes. Hey, a lot of people are playing as a cube right now. Let's fix that real quick. Let's figure out like what other bugs that people are getting. Let's fix that. Okay, cool. What is next on the priority list? And maybe it is like, I don't know, like updates that are quality of life or accessibility things. And I think you eventually get to where New Game Plus is. And I think that's where they're at of like, you know, the game came out only a couple months ago. It feels like a year ago for some reason. It came out a couple of months ago, and so they've been spending the last couple of months working on these different things. All right, now what's next on the list is the New Game Plus, and is like changing the colors of the tendrils.
Yeah.
And I think because it's the holiday, they have to push it for after they come back from whatever holiday break. Hopefully that's what they're doing. And then like I think you go from there.
Yeah. Whatever.
But yeah, like I hear what you're talking about, because I am not a New Game Plus person. So I'm like, how many people are? Because I think you are, right? And I know Greg
no,
is.
like that's the thing is like I feel like it's this perfect storm of like, give me a reason, like make it make sense to me, make me want to do it. I feel like Ratchet is actually a good example where to platinum that game, you essentially had to play through it twice. And Miles Morales.
Oh, Miles Morales had that.
Yeah.
Ratchet, I don't think Ratchet had that.
There was something with Ratchet where it's like playing through a bunch of.
You had to start a New Game Plus.
You're
file.
right.
That was it. Like you had to like essentially play like the first story beat in New Game Plus, and then that was pretty much it.
Right.
Whereas for Miles Morales, there was like extra stuff to unlock.
You had to like
finish
New Game Plus.
Yeah,
you had to
finish it.
Yeah, I feel like you had to get to a certain point in Ratchet or something. Like there was something you had to unlock. I remember I played a bit.
I think it was like there was a new gun or a new weapon that was introduced in Ratchet in the New Game Plus that you had to unlock.
Yes.
I like that.
You had to buy it.
Like to me, it's like give me the little carrot on a stick to like get me starting again, and maybe I complete it, maybe I don't. Like I'm not a New Game Plus person in the sense of like wanting to replay a game right now, but I'm definitely not a person that's like, oh, I want to replay a game in 3 months. Like I just feel like what is the audience of a New Game Plus? If like, and we to really like dive into that, they have the data, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's got to be more than just Insomniac, but like PlayStation as a whole, because I think chat reminded me like Ragnarok didn't launch with New Game Plus. I'm pretty sure.
No, and I was like, that's dumb too.
Yeah, and so I wonder if there is like something in their data where it's like across all of the studios where it's like if they need to just like get the thing out the door to reviewers and stuff. If there's something in just like their timeline of like, I think hey, this is a lower priority because we see people don't come back to play a New Game Plus until months later.
And I also think they just see it as, I think they see it as a luxury, not a necessity of New Game Plus, right? It's like in the same way of like known shippables for a game of, hey, we know this bug is here, but it's a light enough thing where we can still ship the game and get it out on time. I think for New Game Plus, it is the thing where if to implement this New Game Plus thing, it's going to take us an extra couple weeks or however long it takes, we'd rather just get it out the door and then figure it out later, as opposed to being like, let's hold this thing for New Game Plus, which is a thing that like obviously like all these games are coming out without it and still getting scored really well, right? And so like it's not a thing that people look at as a detriment if it isn't there, except unless you're Tim Geddes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, whatever. We're splitting hairs here, where it's the thing where I feel like I'm coming off on this as if I care a lot more than I actually even do about it. I just am kind of the mind of either do it or don't do it. Like I just feel like it coming out in a couple months, I'm like, all right, cool. I guess that, in a couple years, like if we wanted to go back and like when there is other things added, like I imagine there'll be DLC packs or stuff. And like maybe it'll give a reason to want to replay through Spider-Man 2. And like, cool, then that New Game Plus is great for that use case. But I don't know. To me, I feel like there's a way to make New Game Plus exciting, and this isn't it. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Fair enough.
But Tim, would it be more exciting if they added the white box as an official suit for Spider-Man.
I mean, I feel like that's a like.
Think about it.
I think that's a cheat code. Like, and that's why I miss cheats, because that would be like a cheat thing of like, yeah, let's add this in as a code so people can have this as an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Bring back the cheat codes,
Or like, let me just put in the Konami code and start screen and make it happen.
Make something happen.
Story number 4. Let me tell you. Arcane is making something happen with this Blade game. We got our first look at Blade concept art. This is tweeted out by Sebastian Mitten, who works over there at Arcane Lyon. He tweeted out, "Your excitement following Marvel's Blade reveal means the world to us. Here's some exclusive eye candy from our art heroes at Lyon," with the heart emoji. Want to team up? Check out Arcane Lyon's open positions, and then they link over to the job listing. But we got some concept art for Blade. Again, it's gonna be like a third-person action stealth game. I don't think they've said stealth, but you assume stealth because it's Arcane. I can't wait for this, dude.
I mean,
I cannot wait for this game.
Every single shot we're seeing here has something that makes you go, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
You know, whether it's the colors or just the style on top of that. Go to the third one, please. Just the pose he's in. Come on.
Yeah, this is sick.
I want this.
Yeah, I really hope that Arcane's sense of art direction really shines in this one, because they have such fantastic art direction that I think is a bit understated because their games have been in first person, and so you don't really get to see like your character in relation to the world, right? Like, you just have this first person view, and like I think a lot of people would agree that Deathloop has a really cool art style. But I think if you're making a Blade game, and if you're making like the world of Blade and having the Arcane sense of architecture and lighting and like what the like the assets look like and all that stuff, right? I think putting in third person is probably the right direction for that.
In Paris too. Like, there's something about that I just feel like adds so much character to what this even could be.
Yeah, and you look at these and like, I mean, concept art usually looks really cool because that's the aim. That's where you're trying to go for visually. But yeah, look at this and I'm like, man, I really hope the end version is able to live up to what this concept art looks like, because it almost gives me Sifu vibes of how colorful it looks and how stylized it looks. And
I mean, honestly, it reminds me a lot of like the 2D animation stuff for Deathloop. So I think they're gonna nail it, like art direction wise. Of like, when you think about how stylized the like 2D animation stuff was for Deathloop, and then how stylized the world of Deathloop was, I think they're gonna fucking nail it. Especially like, it being in Paris, like a lot of the architecture, I think for Paris like fits a lot of like what they've done with both Deathloop and Dishonored in terms of like world design. So yeah, I think they knew like their kind of section of like what they can do artistically, and they're like, hey, let's just put Blade in that, and it just sounds fucking awesome.
Which is really cool.
We're getting the Blade game, man.
It's happening. Is it going to be Xbox exclusive? Twitter's going crazy trying to figure it out.
Yes.
It probably will be Xbox exclusive, everybody.
It will be. It fucking will be.
Let's move on. Story number 5. Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 lead the BAFTA Game Awards nominations for 2024, the long list. This is Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 have received the most nominations in the long list for the BAFTA Game Awards 2024. This year, in a change from its usual process, the UK arts charity has listed the 60 games that make up the long list of its nominees. BAFTA members will start voting to decide the final nominations for the Best Game and British Game categories in January, while BAFTA juries will vote in the other 15 categories. The final nominations will be announced on March 7th, 2024. In the long list, Baldur's Gate 3 has been nominated for 15 categories, while Alan Wake 2 has been nominated for 14 categories. Behind these are Spider-Man 2 with 10 categories, Hogwarts Legacy with 9 categories, Final Fantasy 16 with 8, and then The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom with 8. Get it together. BAFTA has also shared the top... What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Show some respect to Tears. BAFTA has also shared the top 10 games longlisted for its Best Game, British Game, Performer in a Leading Role, and Performer in a Supporting Role categories. Do you ever you find it interesting that they have a British Game category?
I mean, they can do what they want, right?
I mean, I understand there's the BAFTAs, and the BAFTAs is British, but like British Game, how do you win British Game? You got beans on toast in them in there.
I mean, isn't it just like British Studios?
I think it's so. British Best Game by British Studio.
Yeah. I don't think it's the game itself is like it just
most,
has a vibe.
I like the idea of like the most British game.
Yeah.
You're playing as the queen. And you're doing stealth.
Untitled Goose Game always wins. That game is British as hell.
That game is British as hell, actually. Banjo-Kazooie comes back and just fucking clears that. Let's see. On the best game long list, we got Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Hogwarts, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Pretty good list, except there's no RE4, which surprised me. Moving on to most British game, you got Cassette Beasts, Dead Island 2, Disney Illusion Island, EA Sports WRC, F123, Football Manager 2024.
It's got to be Football Manager, right?
That is the most British game, though.
Most British game.
Yo, they love Football Manager over there. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tron Identity, Viewfinder, and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin.
Honestly, pulling for Tron Identity because the
Mike
Biffle.
Yeah, shout out to Biffle. Also, shout out to Disney Illusion Island because
man.
That studio rocks as well. I love those guys.
The Lala.
Performer in a leading role. The long list looks like this. You got Amelia Tyler as the narrator in Baldur's Gate 3, which is fascinating. Really cool that she got the nomination. I never would have thought about that as a leading role, but in that game, I kind of get it because they're narrating everything. So cool. Ben Starr Clive Rossfield in Final Fantasy 16. Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis. Ika Villi as Alan Wake. Matthew Peretta as Alan Wake. Oh, I see. It's a live action versus the voice. Melanie Liebert as Saga in Alan Wake. Najee Jeter as Miles. Neil Newbin as Asterion. Samantha Bayart as Karlak. And then Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker. And then you got the performer in a supporting role long list, which is Andrew Wincott as Raphael in Baldur's Gate 3. I'll just say the character names. You got Halson in Baldur's Gate 3, Seer Junda in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Solomon Reed, of course, is Idris Elba in Cyberpunk, Alex Casey, the voice of Alex Casey for Alan Wake 2, that's James McCaffrey. You got Marty as Ati in Alan Wake 2, which I love because Barrett, how often does Ati talk in that game?
I mean, if you just stand around him for a while. Well, here's the thing. Yes, it's a supporting role.
That's true.
Ati's not in a lot, but when he's in it, he's fucking delivering. Honestly, I think Ati might be in Alan Wake 2 more so than Seer Junda is in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So
I won't argue against that. You got, of course, Ralph Ineson as Sid in Final Fantasy 16, which that might be my vote, honestly. Sam Lake as Alex Casey in Alan Wake 2. That's wild.
My vote. Sam Lake as Alex Casey is so good.
Well, we had Tony Todd as Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and then Tracy Wiles as Jahara in Baldur's Gate 3. The second half of that list is a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. Because Sam Lake, wild that you can be best direction and get those Game of the Year awards, but then also be in best.
That's great. I mean, also shout out to supporting role. I think that's a cool category that BAFTAs have that Game Awards don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that as a category because I think you get a lot more people highlighted in there, and that's a stacked list because between Idris Elba, Ralph Ineson, and I mean even Tony Todd is Venom, that's a strong contender as well, I'd say, and Sam Lake, of course. Really good list. Final news story number 6. We got an Asgard's Wrath 2 review roundup. Now, Tim, I've heard the name Asgard's Wrath 2 thrown around.
Yeah,
I didn't know,
I didn't know they got it like that.
I didn't respect your game like that, Asgard's Wrath 2, because on Metacritic, it is sitting at a 93. On OpenCritic, also sitting at a 93. Travis Northup at IGN gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, man.
For reference, this is a VR game. This is a
VR RPG.
Yeah, a vast RPG in VR by Sinzaru Games. Travis Northup's IGN review reads like this. Asgard's Wrath 2 is the full-fledged VR open-world RPG I've always wanted to play, and for that matter, it's one of the best RPGs in any perspective I've played in years. With 4 unique characters and stories, fantastic and satisfying combat, intricate and rewarding RPG systems, a great story, and an entire roguelite dungeon crawling mode thrown in just to show off, this masterpiece completely nails almost everything it tries, much of which has never been pulled off in VR. The MetaQuest 3's killer app has arrived, and even after more than 90 hours throwing squids at gloriously shredded lizards and whipping across gaps, I'm still eager to jump back in. And then Anthony Tarmina at GameRant gave it a 90 out of 100 and says, Asgard's Wrath 2 is without a doubt one of the best VR games and a surefire system seller for a Quest 3. It presents an engaging character action experience that leverages the power of Meta's new VR headset and tech to ensure fast and fluid combat, a rich set of environments, and a scope that is consistently jaw-dropping. Some precision quirks with the combat and lower fidelity graphics are small gripes, but they ultimately do little to hold back the game from being a compelling adventure that is hard to put down. If there is a game to showcase how VR can match the scope and scale of games like God of War and Zelda, Asgard's Wrath 2 makes the strongest case yet.
Damn.
And then Justin Wood at CG Magazine gave it a 90 as well, saying Asgard's Wrath 2 is a near-perfect VR RPG. Between its compelling story, great gameplay mechanics, and scope, it's a must-play for all VR MetaQuest owners. With just a few tweaks to the accessibility, it could have been perfect.
A couple fun things here about this. This is from Sanzaru Games, who previously made Secret Agent Clank.
Oh,
or at least the PS2 version of that. But the Sly Cooper Thieves in Time on PS3.
Okay.
Is what they did. So, yeah,
so
Greg,
they made masterpieces before.
Exactly. Greg goes way back with them. Greg and Mike are going to be doing 2 sponsored streams for Asgard's Wrath tomorrow and Monday right after Games Daily. So people will be able to see Greg jump into this 10 out of 10 from IGN World in VR.
Wild.
Pretty exciting.
Not on PSVR 2 though, huh?
Well, it's a MetaQuest 3 exclusive thing.
Huh.
I don't know if
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate for PSVR too, but it's fortunate for me because I have a MetaQuest 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've been like, oh man, fuck, too many games because I'm playing God of War right now, and after I finish God of War, I got other games I want to play. Right, we got the review codes in for Last of Us Part 2 remaster provided by PlayStation, so I'm gonna want to play some of that.
You planning to pop into Final Fantasy 16?
The DLC, I want to.
4 hours.
4 hours?
4 hours with a killer boss fight at the end.
How easy is it to get back into it after not playing for half a year?
It took the first, I'd say, hour and a half of it is definitely them getting you familiarized back, and it's not the best hour and a half. The end of it makes it totally worth it though.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
I think you'd have a blast just to do the boss fight. It's pretty damn cool.
Hell yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Now I want to check out Asgard's Wrath 2, but man, VR though, it's a task to
VR RPG.
Get in there, and the way they're talking about it being this vast open world thing, right? Am I going to be having 100 hours put into this thing? Because that sounds like a big ask for VR as well. But the way that they're pitching this, they name dropped in the Game Rant review, God of War and Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sell me on something, you name drop God of War and Zelda, and so I might have to check it out. But me picking up my MetaQuest 3 at home and putting it on and checking it out is so far away. Maybe not, because I might do that when I get home. But if I want to know what's coming out to Mom Grab Shops today, where would I look, Tim?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the KindaFunny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, we got Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising for PS5, PS4, PC. GTA The Trilogy Definitive for iOS and Android. House Flipper 2 for PC. Palliative for Switch.
Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it's alluding to. Well, you mean Netflix on the TV?
No.
GTA.
The GTA on Netflix. It's complicated.
Yeah, I think when it says iOS and Android, it's kind of including that. But yeah, I think that is via Netflix that you're playing those. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, The Hidden Treasures of Area Zero, the Indigo Disc for Switch. Did they put out codes for that? Have you been playing it?
They don't do codes for DLC.
Oh, for the DLC?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I haven't played it last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course I am.
We gotta talk about that. My Little Blood Cult Early Access for PC and mobile, Paranoid for PC, Soul Slinger Envoy of Death Early Access for PC, River Tales Stronger Together for PC, Custom Mech Wars for PC and PS5, which sounds kind of cool, Bonson Knights for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Switch, Bulletstorm VR for PC and PS5, and then Power Watch Simulator Christmas Update is out now. New days for you. The crew has been delisted on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. The server is going to close on March 31st. After that, the game is no longer playable. Played Up launches February 15th, 2024 on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, launches March 5th, 2024 on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. And then the first chapter of Nova Hearts, a turn-based dating adventure, launches January 17th, 2024 on PC. Before we get out of here, I got a required reading for you all. A really cool article went up on IGN yesterday. It's an article by Rebecca Valentine. It's titled "The Game Awards Winners Speeches We Didn't Get to Hear." Rebecca Valentine essentially reached out, and IGN reached out to people who won awards at the Game Awards, but didn't get enough time to give their speeches, or didn't even get the the space to give the speeches with like the speed run or the quick fire awards that were given out. And so IGN did a really cool thing where they reached out to them to actually be able to give their own award speeches on the IGN website. I'll read the first couple paragraphs here from IGN.
Incredibly cool.
Really cool. In the days since the Game Awards last week, there have been a number of discussions from fans and developers about what the show should have been or should not have been. And one common thread among them was a desire to hear more from more developers who were accepting awards. While a number of award winners didn't get up and give speeches that were limited to roughly 30 seconds, some other winners never took the mic at all. So we reached out to a number of the developers who hadn't gotten the chance to give their speeches for whatever reason and offered the chance to do so here on IGN. Here's what we got back. I highly recommend you guys go over to IGN, check out the article. You got speeches from people like the developers of Sea of Stars and more. It's a really neat thing for IGN to do. Speaking of neat things, I got 2 required readings for you. The second one is in the same vein. There was a Twitter thread put up yesterday by Sven Vink from Larian, the creators of Baldur's Gate 3. And it's essentially an extended version of their Game of the Year speech, right? It's like the idea of if they didn't have the 30-second time limit, the full thing they would have been able to say for the Game Awards speech. It's a 16-tweet thread, but I think it's worth the read. It's a very sweet thread, kind of commenting on the industry as a whole and where the heart of Baldur's Gate 3 comes from in them developing it. And so yeah, go check that out. The @ on Twitter is @Larian, LARATLARIAN.
The link will also be in the description.
There you go. Appreciate that. Now it's time for You're Wrong. Write in. Let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Let's see. Jesus. Tundra Boy says Untitled Goose Game was made by an Australian developer, so it wouldn't win Best British Game.
It's a British ass game, though.
Yeah.
IRR Gamer says Asgard's Wrath 2 is Meta exclusive, but not Meta Quest 3 exclusive. It's also available on Meta Quest 2. That's a good one. And then Sal Romano says, just a small one. Bonds and Knights for consoles was delayed to January 18th, so only the PC version is out today. And that's it. KindaFunny.com/You're Wrong.
Thing.
Tomorrow's hosts for the show are going to be Tim and special guest, me.
Who would have thought? We're switching places, though.
We're switching places.
Wow.
As what happens when we transfer from Thursday to Friday.
Wow.
So get ready for that. It's going to be a Friday episode. Until then, though, of course, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily. And now it's time for the Kinda Funny post show. Now, is Andy and/or Mike supposed to come out for this post show? Oh, there's Mike.
Again, Mike, baby. While Mike comes to get set up, Les, I want to tell you a quick little story. Because I don't think I've talked to you about this. I think it was me and Greg on Games Daily last week, but I have some updates. Been playing Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora.
Oh.
Very enjoyable game. Beautiful game.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I heard
gorgeous.
the environments are really good looking.
It's kind of unbelievable, man. Very, very immersive experience. Having a lot of fun with that. But I was playing on PS5. And Andy was like, Tim, you gotta check it out on PC. Like, I have my super ultra wide 32:9 ratio monitor. He's like, you gotta see it, man. It's gonna sing on that thing. But I was like, I'm a little worried. Like, I know there's Ubisoft Connect. How difficult is it gonna be to connect my PlayStation save to my PC save? How's it gonna work? I also was playing on my PlayStation Portal a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just adding a whole bunch of things. There's no way that this works correctly. There's too many things here that I'm just going to fuck up. I am pleased to report everything worked flawlessly in ways I couldn't even imagine. Playing Avatar on my PS5 downstairs, having a great time, put a couple hours in. Later, go upstairs, play my Portal, turn it on. It just connects. Load into Avatar. My game's there. I'm playing. It works. It's great. Play for about another hour. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that works so seamlessly. Get a code from Greg for the PC version. Pop it in. I expect it. I'm like, this is where this is all going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Download the game, install the game, load the game. It's my save file.
That's awesome.
How did they know? I don't fucking get it.
Ubisoft did it.
Ubisoft did it.
The power of Ubisoft Connect.
At some point, I must have made a Ubisoft account. I don't even know what the hell it's called. I don't know what's going on. How do they know my PSN? I don't know. I have no idea.
All linked.
but it's all linked. And I was like, this shit just works. I was so impressed.
Oh yeah, are you having a good time with that game? Because of course that's like an open world thing, more Far Cry like kind of type of game.
Yeah,
not necessarily the Tim Geddes experience, but you love Avatar.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I love Avatar, don't love the game that much, like because of all that stuff. There's parts of it that I'm like, oh, I'm so in for this. But yeah,
but you be flying.
Oh yeah.
But you be flying.
It's cool as hell.
But you be flying, bro.
Yeah, the hype moments are hype. The story so far, it's serviceable. It's good enough. But yeah, it's there's something about the game that's a little too open.
Yeah,
which I get is the point. Like I get it's for a lot of people, but man, thing is gorgeous.
Hell yeah.
I have 3 Uplay accounts.
Why?
Snowbike Mike 2, Snowbike Mike 22, Snowbike Mike.
When
There's
did
a lot
this
of
happen?
them.
Was
Yeah,
it
you
for-
know, they'd be sending you emails, and you sign up on one. And you're like, I don't know that
They'd be
one. I sign
sending
up
you
over there.
You know, there's usually there's a button nowadays that just says log in through Google, and you just click that
I'll
button.
tell you what, I'm afraid to do that.
Like, I
sometimes.
don't-
We'll talk about that
I don't
another
remember
time.
any of my passwords, but I just
Mike
press that
signs up
button.
for accounts like Andy orders Nendoroids, man.
Hey, what the heck is going on, everybody? Welcome to your Super Chat post show with me, Snowbike Mike, and your 2 incredible show hosts. We got Tim Geddes and Blessing here today, and gosh darn it, they both look good in their jackets. This Tekken jacket, fire.
Dude, sick
This
as hell.
pink jacket, fire.
Dude,
holy
I
cow,
love this
bro.
Yosemite sweater.
Yeah,
Dope as hell. Your hair is powerful right now. Oh, yeah.
It's a little
Oh, yeah.
wild
Look at
today.
that.
I will say that your boy Snowbike Mike is in his comfy attire because I'm going to go watch a 4-hour video of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Yeah, you are.
We're going to get deep in the lore here right
Are
after
you watching
today's stream.
live with people?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I just did a.
We're going to find out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's Ricky and Mickey, and I'm looking forward to it.
Ricky
Oh,
and
dude, I
Mickey.
can't.
You know what I mean? I texted in a NyQuil haze. Andy wrote me and he goes, "Hey, are you good for tomorrow?" Says you're playing Kingdom Hearts 2. I said, "Well, I actually have to watch a 4-hour-long lore video before that." And he wrote LMFAO. And I said, "No, it's not funny. It's awesome because I'm going to find out in my mind. I'm just guessing because I don't remember who told me this or if I made it up, but I'm going to find out the story behind Ricky and Mickey and how Ricky changed sides. Because if you didn't know Andy Cortez, he'll tell you the whole message. I wrote Angelina Jolie, aka Maleficent, had Ricky sell his soul to the darkness because he wanted to sell his soul to then give his heart to Kyrie, his love, because he wanted to save Kyrie. It was a beautiful thing, but he had to embrace the darkness, bless, right? And so he embraced the darkness, but no. Turns out Mickey somehow teamed up with him. He was like, yo, bro, I'm on the good side now. And we're like, oh, shit, he's on the good side now. So I'm hoping that this is the story of how Mickey saved Ricky.
I
don't
can't
know how to
wait for you
describe
see
this.
He nailed it, though. Like, that was accurate.
It happened. It
And this
happened.
is I miss our Metal Gear playthrough just because like Mike's lore drops for every episode was so fucking.
But like, it's even more ridiculous that
It
it's
is.
Kingdom Hearts. Like, it feels like I'm watching like it's like watching like a King of the Hill character recap an anime.
I can't
where
wait.
It's like this doesn't feel right.
Anytime Mike does a
Him
lore
saying
drop for
Kyrie.
Kingdom Hearts, I gotta end it with Boom Howard's right, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy some Kingdom Hearts gear. Some
I
merch.
love it, dude.
I'm going to Hot Topic this weekend, yo. I'm gonna buy a dope Kingdom Hearts t-shirt.
Mike,
man.
I've watched your reaction to the end of that game like 10 times.
Oh.
It's the best.
Oh man, you know that Simple and Clean song, Bless?
Oh, do I know the fucking Simple
You
and
know
Clean
this song, Bless? It's so good.
Let me
So
tell you,
we'll do that afterwards.
The other songs. There are other songs. They're fire.
Is there a good one for this?
Yeah. Well,
for Chain of Memories, no.
The Chain of Memories, I think, is just Simple and Clean again. So, yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Simple and Clean.
Kingdom
high,
Hearts 2
okay.
has a great
Okay.
song.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, we'll
Kingdom
talk about
Hearts
that in just a little bit.
First, for some reason, I think you're gonna pop off hard for the Kingdom Hearts 3 song though.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
Yeah.
jump into these super chats and, of course, Twitch Primes and Twitch resubs because we got a number of them. Eric D. Cooper has resubscribed with a tier 1 sub for 44 months and says Godzilla saw Godzilla -1 and 4DX 2 nights ago per Tim's recommendation, and it was perfect.
Dude, Godzilla -1. I think it's only in theaters for like a couple more days. Go watch this film. It is so damn good. I've seen it twice now, both times in 40X, both times incredibly worth it. I think it's worth it without the 40X.
Okay.
But if you have access to 40X, this movie was made for that shit, man.
Oh, man.
Such a damn good experience. But yeah, -1 is incredible.
Gabri writes in and with the tier 1 sub for 17 months. Thank you. Blessing. Holy crap. This third playthrough of Armored Core. What a game.
I know. I never got to the third playthrough. People keep telling me.
Oh, I have to get to a third playthrough?
I've done the 2 Bear, have you done the third playthrough?
I did. So
Oh,
I went
wow.
back to Armored
That's
Core.
crazy.
I started the first New Game Plus like right after beating it a couple months ago, and then after Alan Wake 2, I was like, I just need some comfort. I need to not get into my scary shit anymore. just give me a fucking fun action game. So I re-downloaded Armored Core 6, and in the span of 5 days, got the second ending and then got the third ending.
Oh.
And bless, it fucking goes places, and it's really goddamn cool to the point that, like, Andy was telling me, like, oh, Vati is gonna upload, like, a breakdown of all the lore and story of Armored Core, and I was like, I can't wait. I need to, like, get lore fucking breakdowns right now. So I watched, like, an hour and a half fucking, like...
Armored lore.
Dude, it's so good. It's so goddamn good.
Man, maybe, oh, man.
Armored Core 6, man.
I'm still stuck on playing to number 1. I'm battling that motherfucker.
It's hard, dude.
Gotta be out here fighting me with swords and shit. I gotta tell him slow down.
Dude, Armored Core is such a sick game.
It's a cool game.
And yeah, like, I wish, man, Starfield came out at the worst time for me because, yeah, like, I finished my second playthrough, and that second playthrough overlapped with when I got the Starfield code. And so I was like, well, like, I just got to focus in on this. I started Starfield like a little bit late because of it. And I just couldn't justify doing the third playthrough. But honestly, y'all got me hyped for it.
Did you get to the second one, or you didn't finish your
No, I finished the second playthrough.
Okay. Like the third, so you know how long it's going to take. It takes like...
It's not that long, yeah.
Maybe 5 hours to get to the ending there. So it's fucking worth it.
Okay.
All right.
And then we'll end it on the Twitch side of things with Let's Go Wolves. Prime Gaming Summit for 4 months says, love you guys. Mike, will you guys be doing a Halo Infinite firefight stream? I started downloading it. I think we're going to put it on the books because I do want to show it off to the team. I mean, Tim's giving me a look. I love Halo Firefight. So yeah, we'll figure it out. But I did start downloading it here on the work PC so we could play it. Let's jump over to the YouTube side of things where we got some fun write-ins like JB with a $5 super chat says A24 and Kojima Productions is a perfect marriage of studio and visionary. Guess I need to finally play Death Stranding. Blessing, what you think about this team up?
I love the team up. I mean, we talked about it today on the show, but yeah, like, you should definitely play Death Stranding. I think Death Stranding it's a game that if you're somebody who loves video games, you're gonna play through it, and you might love it, you might like it a little bit, you might hate it, just because it's that kind of game. It's different mechanically, right? It's not an action game except for when it wants to be an action game. You are delivering packages and balancing and, like, stacking things up and trying to, like, walk across America. That's what the game is, and it is take it or leave it. But I think if you're somebody that appreciates video games, at the very least, you'll appreciate this game trying to go for something and this game doing something different. And I think, for me, it hit just because, like, one, I really like Kojima, but then also I really dug the themes of it. Like, I think the game has really interesting themes, and I think in the pandemic, because we're still in the pandemic somehow. Right now, I think the themes of the game really hit. Like, there's a lot to relate to in there, and so yeah, like, for sure, check out Death Stranding.
Yeah, get high off that Kojima joint, that Jordan Peele Kojima joint / the Avengers joint, because he's making his own Avengers squad.
Oh yeah,
Tim, just so you know, that's just gonna be wicked, bro. It's gonna be crazy, y'all. I'm gonna go so wild with that. Frolicious writes in with the $5 super chat and says, at 2 p.m. Central Time, I will be on an 18-day vacation from work. If y'all had 18 days off, what would you do? I'll be going to a convention and gaming.
Hell yeah.
Tim Geddes, you got 18 days off. And, like, I'm talking Tim Geddes, you don't pick up the phone, no computer, 18 days. Dude, I know you. What are you doing?
I got so many little projects at home that I want to do.
Okay.
Like, there's the hallway outside of our theater room. Like, it's just a disaster. And, like, since day one, I've had ambitious plans. They haven't happened. So it just turns into the room you just dump shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, it'd be a lot of, like, the little projects. I've been wanting to do a entire top to bottom smart home revamp, because, like, let me tell y'all, just don't get into the smart home stuff. It'll take over your life, and it makes you a worse person. I'm a horrible person at this point. Damn, I have nothing left.
Damn,
all right,
Tim.
So yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. I like that project. Yeah. I'm currently in the moving process, and I'm finishing up my streaming studio right now. I should be done by probably the end of the weekend or Saturday. I just need some lights and a desk chair, and then I'll be done. I really love what I did with it.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to show it off. It's going to be fun. And there's going to be some cool shit. Bless, you have 18 days off. What are you doing?
I don't know. I've been thinking about this actually lately.
Do you think you and I go on a road trip somewhere? Maybe you go, we go down the coast.
That's a straight up Harold and Kumar film right there. Of, like, Blessing and Mike take over the world.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about it because I'm like, it's been a while. It's been, I feel like, a very long time actually since I've taken off that much time. And so I think I should at some point soon. And I would like, the thing is, I just don't know what to do with myself because I don't want to just play a game. Like, the last time I took a week off, I just spent that week playing Prey. And so okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I want to disconnect myself from video games. I think I do travel. Like, I think it is a thing of, maybe I take 1 week to visit family, and then I take another week to like maybe go somewhere. Maybe I go to Europe, or maybe I go to like Japan or somewhere that I've really wanted to go. Maybe I do that for another week, and then I spend the last week just like chilling and hanging back. I would also maybe like to take that time to go to an event or something that I've always wanted to go to, something like Evo. I'd love to like Evo. I've taken off 3 weeks, take some time to like hit up Evo or something. I know I could do that for work, but I think if I go to that, I'd love to just do it on my leisure, right? Like, not have to worry about like anything. And so I think that's what I do.
I'm going shooting up to Crater Lake because that's on my list. Then I'm shooting across the state of Oregon onto the coastline where I'm going to the Sea Lion Cave. Yeah, you heard that right. It's the Sea Lion Cave. You go into this scary cave, bunch of sea lions. They be making noise.
Wait, what sound do they make?
They be making noise. And then maybe I go up to Seattle or I'd come back down. But I got Crater Lake.
I love you so
Crater
much,
Lake
Mike.
is my next spot I need to go to. It's on the list.
You're
I like
best.
his sea lion face. It's the same as his indie.
AJ Hawk with the $2 Canadian super chat says, any of you boys watching that new Yu Yu Hakusho?
Is it out yet?
Now, is this the
Hakusho.
live action?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that out yet? I don't think that's out yet. Is that out yet?
It's out this month. It might be out. I've not been paying attention. If it's out, I'm going home and watching that shit.
Ryan Colt Levy is the confirmed dubbed actor for what's the main character's name?
Yusuke?
Yusuke.
Wait,
In the live action?
Yeah, so because it's Japanese actors and all that stuff, like they still do like
The
dubs and stuff. So
okay.
Shout out to Ryan Colt Levy.
Damn.
The first episode. No, wait. It's out today, I think? Yeah, I think it's out today.
Today is the 14th of December.
Hold on. If I go to Netflix, watch Yu Hakusho,
What's up, baby?
I think it's out.
Not Yusuke. Kazuma Kuwabara.
Okay, you're watching
Oh.
this. Should I watch this if I haven't watched the show?
No, just watch the show. 'Cause
Okay,
this isn't
don't try
gonna.
this?
I don't know if this is gonna be good. I don't
Okay.
have faith that this is gonna be good.
Okay.
I'm just such a fan of Yu Hakusho that I'm going to watch this.
Okay.
It's the same way that like I really like Death Note, and like I watched the Death Note movie.
Oh, yeah,
with,
I watched that. Yeah.
Yeah, with Lakeith Stanfield as L, which is such an inspired casting. And like it wasn't good, but I like Death Note, and so I was like, and it took place in Seattle, and it had Lakeith Stanfield, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
It was bad, but
Okay.
I'll do it again.
I'm on the One Piece journey, Tim. 394 episodes.
Love
We're
you.
closing in on 400.
yeah.
And let me tell you what, bro. This Mangrove Forest story arc is fucking wild. Tim, get this. Right? We're on the journey to the Grand Line. We're at the halfway point, ready to go across the red line. And get this, Barrett. We're meeting all of the other rookie pirates that are making a name for themselves. 11 rookies all in one spot. And they're like, oh, you think Luffy's the baddest? Guess what? There's a motherfucker out there with a higher bounty than Luffy.
Wow.
And the girl's going, this is the first time we've had all 11 rookies all together at one time in the same spot. And they show you all of them. You're like, oh my God, this show can't get any more fucking hype, Barrett. It's unbelievable.
I'll get there in 4 years.
Oh my God, it's 12:30 at night. I'm like, just tell them to run that shit up. Let's go. We're never stopping.
As another anime check-in, you know what? I've been watching a lot of Mike for the last couple weeks. Fucking high Q. I'm coming up on season 3. I like binged through the rest of season 1 and season 2, and goddamn, I never thought I'd be getting the hype watching a bunch of anime boys play volleyball, but holy fuck, man, it keeps going and it does not stop. It's so good.
If you want to stay hype on volleyball tonight, me and Blessing double header in adult volleyball.
Oh, wait, are we doing
Come
double
on
header
by.
today?
Double header.
Oh, I didn't realize
Feel free,
that.
bring Gia.
Yeah.
Bring the girl, bring the dog,
Dang.
bring Andy. We'll be there.
I didn't
We're
realize
excited
that.
for everybody's love.
love
Mike's whole plan was just to try to get Andy invited. So he's listing off everybody and then
Andy,
try to
bring
sneak in
Andy.
Andy.
Oh, that's really
Also-
exciting.
Where is it?
This is at the Jewish Community Center,
Oh, okay,
which is
cool.
a beautiful building.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. You know, San Francisco continues to astonish me. You know what I mean? You look at it on the map, you drive through, and you go, okay, I can see it. And then you see some of these spots, and you're like, holy crap, they built this in the middle of this tiny little peninsula? How'd they do that? You know what I mean? How'd they do that?
I think you just doxed us.
It's a big city.
They come and see us. They come and see us. You know what I mean? I'm signing autographs after the volleyball game. Be
No,
here.
he's not. Stay, let us do our thing.
Dear,
I want to play volleyball on Friday.
Dear Sixlet, in a recent Famitsu interview, Yoshi P said that depending on how the PC port does and production costs, they might add playable Jill and Sid to Final Fantasy 16.
Sick.
I'd
Yeah, is
love
that
to play
Sid?
as Sid.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you played Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I've been playing through Final Fantasy 16. Now, hold up. Why would I play as somebody else? I'm enjoying playing as my guy, Ben Starr.
Because while he's amazing,
Yeah.
Sid's out there.
Yeah, Sid is incredible, dude.
Sid is that
Now,
guy.
hold up. Who is Sid in this one? There's the hot blonde lady, which I like a lot.
Yeah, it's not her.
Lady B.
Uh-huh.
Lady B.
Denisha.
Yo, Lady B is right. And then there's that burly dude. He's all uptight. You know what I mean?
this guy.
Who's Sid? Oh, yeah, Sid's nice. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
Sid
He's
is
not as
sick
cool
as
as the
hell.
burly dude. You know what I mean?
Wait, he's not as cool as the burly dude? You're talking about like...
Yeah, the big muscle head, the scary guy.
Okay, he's way cooler than him.
I mean, he's cool, but like we're
Sid
talking
is one
about
of
the
the coolest
Hound
people to
versus
ever
Jamie.
Sid might be
we're
like-
talking about the Hound versus Jamie Lannister. I'm definitely hanging out with the Hound, not Jamie Lannister.
I'm hanging out with
I'm
Sid,
throwing
dude.
it out there,
I'm
Chad. I'm just
sorry.
throwing it out there.
You're talking about Hugo or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
That might be his name.
Sid is top two cool. It's fucking Clive and Sid are the two.
God, I love hanging out with the two of you. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
you so
Post
much.
chats
Like,
with
I've
you
missed
guys and
you.
Baird is so much fun. Shout out to FBot who has the message redacted, but thank you for your first time ever with the super chat. Thank you for the $5. You are truly incredible.
Who's the guy later in the game that shows up and like I don't want to spoil.
We'll save it.
But I want his. I'm gonna find his
We're
name.
going to look up his name. CJ writes in with the $2 super chat and says, when will we see Death Stranding 2 trailer, Tim Geddes?
I'm surprised we didn't at Game Awards. So, I mean, at this point, probably Summer Game Fest.
Summer Game Fest seems about right. For sure. He brings back Kojima again. That's his homeboy. That's the thing. Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna guess.
do you think?
PlayStation Showcase.
When
Or-
is the next PlayStation Showcase?
PlayStation Showcase or State of Play. I think the thing is, when does Death Stranding 2 come out? Because I still would venture to guess that maybe we could see it in 2024.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like you're on a timer, and so I'll
Okay.
think that like a State of Play might be the thing if a PlayStation Showcase doesn't come on time. I would if you ask me when the PlayStation Showcase is happening, if one happens, I would guess around Summer Game Fest season. Like
Okay.
I think May.
Okay.
And if let's say Death Stranding 2 is planned for fall, I think that lines up.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe both that and Summer Game Fest. Maybe you show up at PlayStation Showcase before, do like a new cinematic trailer, and then at Summer Game Fest you do like a gameplay breakdown.
Okay. AJM writes in with the $5 super chat for the first ever time. Says, thanks for always being there, KF. My cat Olive had to be put down yesterday, and having you guys listen to has really helped me get through the day.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Very
man.
sorry to hear that.
That's a tough one, Aaron. We're right there with you.
We're here for you, man.
And yeah, keep your head up. Remember those memories. Remember the cuddles. And we love you. That's all.
I think Dion was the person I was thinking of. I don't remember his name being Dion though.
Okay.
But apparently it's Dion.
Dion.
And he's also pretty cool.
Dion's the pretty one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yo, this one's pretty cool. Chris D writes in with the $2 super chat and says, Tim, Beverly Hills Cop in review. We need it. Yo, new trailer.
I haven't seen. I've never seen any of these movies.
Okay.
It's more. That's a Nick Scarpino special
Yo,
for
that's
sure.
just gonna be crazy.
Have you heard any of Nick's thoughts on this?
No.
Okay, because like I don't know. I imagine he's very excited. for
Okay,
this.
yeah, we got to figure out a way.
All I know is that Beverly Hills Cop has the dopest theme song of all goddamn time.
Cool.
Oh
That's
my
so
God.
cool.
You might know it as Crazy Frog.
Wait.
Bam, 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 bam. Is that the crazy
Yeah.
frog? God,
Yeah.
that guy took
Is
over
that
the
the
world.
same tune?
Da, 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 da,
Dun, 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 dun,
Is that
dun.
Crazy Frog?
Yeah, and then he goes, wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
I don't think I ever put that together.
No, you
That's
did.
insane.
No, you did.
Also, I meant to bring this up during the anime chat.
Yeah.
A couple nights ago, I went to see The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
tell me about
the
that.
new Miyazaki film. I didn't love it. I found it to be a little bit boring. Like I kept checking my watch toward like the last probably 30 minutes of the movie because I was like, man, okay, is this thing gonna wrap up? Like it gets really weird. It gets really like somebody I was talking to about it said that like you could rearrange the scenes in the second half of the film in any order, it will make the same amount of sense. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I think you're right. Like, and
That's what I've
and
been hearing a lot. I've been hearing kind of like mixed feelings.
yeah, I respect it though, because like I understand why Miyazaki would make this film. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, Miyazaki's making art and he has something to say here. That doesn't mean I have to enjoy it, but I think he has the right to make it. But I'm like, man, it's not hitting the way I thought it would hit.
Something that I would recommend for you is watching Suzume, which I
Suzume?
think just started streaming recently. That came out at the beginning of the year. It's the same director as the really popular movie from a few years ago, and I'm blanking on it. Your Name and Weathering with You.
Yeah, I've heard so many people talk about Your Name. And yeah, Suzume I've heard of.
Great movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that to the list. Maybe I can get when I'm gonna visit Houston to like hang out with my sister and my nephews and stuff. Maybe I'll boot up some anime movies. Maybe we do Suzume. Is Suzume and Your Name, are those kid appropriate?
Suzume, yes. I have not actually watched Your Name, but I assume so.
Gotcha.
Fbot writes in and says, "Hey Tim, are you going to watch Wonka in 4DX?"
We're watching Wonka tonight. It's not
Wonka?
40X though.
Okay.
We're just watching the normal
Man,
viewing.
can I take a moment really quick?
Yeah.
That guy, that boy Timothy Chalamet, he's got some style. Okay, I mean, I'm seeing him on the red carpet. I'm seeing him hang out with Hideo, and it's like, this guy's got some style that I've never got in my life. Maybe I didn't have that kind of money to be buying dumb shit like him, but like, I looked at me and I'm like, Mike at that age, t-shirt and shorts. Timothy, he's got super boots on. He's got an all black leather.
He's a
jacket
celebrity.
on.
He's an A-list celebrity. He's got to bring it.
He's got cool shit, man.
He's got his
got cool
Kingdom
shit.
Hearts.
Now, how
look
did
going on right now.
Timothy Chalamet read like at home watching the Game Awards? Like when you were watching the stream, did he seem like he wanted to be there? Because for me being in the audience, I was like, this motherfucker does not want to be here.
That's kind of his vibe, right?
Is that his vibe?
His vibe is
Okay.
very like,
He's
I'm
kinda
kind of
like,
chill.
I'm
I'm
just
here.
meek little dude.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
Okay.
Somebody you like to put in the headlock and be like, come on, Tim, give me the
'Cause
energy,
I was-
Tim.
I was sitting there
Tim, what are we
like,
doing?
Mike just wants to bully Timothy Chalamet. So
I was sitting
funny.
there like, was he mad that Jeff introduced him as this YouTuber handle, or like what's up with it? But I guess if that's his vibe, then I get it.
Keeping it going because we only have a little bit of time left. Hard to find with the $2 super chat. Says, bless, you played DS on the deck, correct?
I did play DS on the deck. Yeah.
Dear Sixlet with the $5 super chat says, I describe Chain of Memories plot as baby's first Silent Hill. You're in for a dope time. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's a hard left turn
does
from
that
what I
mean?
was picturing.
Shit's wild.
Okay.
Shit's real
that's
fucking
an
wild.
insane comment.
You
right
do
there.
have to watch or play through that game though before you play 2, or else 2 makes absolutely no sense. It's one of the most bewildering choices made in
Dude,
entertainment history.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts fans got mad at me on Twitter. Anytime I talk about Kingdom Hearts, they get mad at me on Twitter. But like, they got mad at me because I was talking about how Kingdom Hearts is harder to follow than Metal Gear Solid, like as a franchise. And they were like, "What do you mean?" Like, oh no. And I was like, and they were like, "Oh," but I was talking about how I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I just didn't understand it. And they were like, "Well, that's what happened. You should have played more Chain of Memories before you played." And I'm like, you can't get mad at me for playing Kingdom Hearts 2 after playing Kingdom Hearts 1, and then also get mad at me for saying it's confusing. You know what I mean? Like, this shit doesn't make sense.
I mean, the biggest problem, and like this is not new information to anybody, but the biggest problem was Kingdom Hearts 1, PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
exclusive.
Chain of Memories.
Chain of Memories.
Game
Game
Boy
Boy
Advance.
Advance exclusive.
Crazy.
Kingdom Hearts 2, PS2
We're back to
exclusive.
PS2.
What the fuck?
Like that. A lot of money getting thrown around. Bander SN with the $5 super chat says, great to meet you at the TGA's, bless. Great job at the Giant Bomb show, too. The
Thank
wrestling
you.
bit was amazing.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming through. Oh my God.
Couldn't help but notice you parked in my parking spot.
Well, someone parked
he
in
doesn't
mine.
like that. He doesn't like
Was it
that.
you? I think it was you.
No, I don't park in your parking spot.
Huh.
Which one? Where do you even park, Tim? That's the question.
Mine's the second from
No,
the...
I park where the staircase juts out a little bit, so my ass is always hanging out. That's where I park.
Sounds like
where
my
I
spot.
Because here's a
That's where
fun
I
thing for you,
park.
chat, is that I don't drive into work every day. I usually take the bus, but whenever I do get the opportunity to drive in, I don't have a solid spot. So, and I'm usually one of the first people in. So, what do I like to do? Play mind games. Who am
Play
I going
mind
to take
games with
today?
people.
Am I going to take
Can
Kevin's
somebody-
spot today, or am I going to take Greg's spot
Someone
today?
Instacart Cool Greg a can of spray paint because he's going out there writing
Oh,
names at every
shit.
spot.
We're going to take...
Where did I
See,
park?
I have a rule, Tim, just so you know. The first 2 spots, Kevin's and then Greg's, those are the only spots you don't fuck with. Everything else, you could park. Also, Nick's spot. Nick doesn't like you parking in his spot. But those 3, you don't mess around with. I once parked in Kevin's spot. He almost put me in a chokehold. Just-
Also, somebody in
Not
chat,
pleased.
when I was talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 being confused,
Yeah,
somebody was like, "Oh, that's on Bless. Bless is just a confused boy." You will not gaslight me into
Don't
making
gaslight
me
him.
think that Kingdom Hearts 2 is a straightforward fucking narrative. All right, show up and fight me.
Damn.
Rudio writes in with the $5 super chat, says, Snowbike Mike, I'm excited for your Disney journey today, but how do you guys imagine the Death Stranding 4DX experience will be?
The problem with 40X
I'm gonna come out with
experiences-
40X being like 80 years old. The time fall.
I told you about the time when I saw Jurassic Park. Fell asleep in the 40X one.
No.
Yeah, I fell asleep. You can ask JD in the voice. And we had a long day. I was really tired. But I fell asleep doing this, right? Woke up. I'm sweating bullets coming out of it. I'm like, we're never doing that again. It's a battle going into that.
That's
You
hilarious.
lose time off your life.
Yeah, no. The thing about 40X is that it's not as like simultaneously is so much more curated than you'd expect. Like people actually make sure it's not gimmicky in the sense of like they're just throwing fucking like you watch Avatar Way of Water, you're not getting soaking wet. Like that's just not how the shit goes. It's surprisingly tasteful, which is hilarious.
Surprisingly dry.
But because of that, it's not as like bespoke as you'd expect. So with Death Stranding thing, I mean, first off, I don't think that'll even make it to 40X. Like I don't think that like that will get that experience. And even if it did, I don't think that they would do that much like cool, crazy stuff. Like
I think you're gonna have drops of water just dripping on you, and it's gonna age you. Like every single drop is gonna, it's gonna do what the timefall does.
Smart. That's some smart.
You're gonna
stuff.
have fucking shadows appearing from the ground.
So it's like really
fucking
salty
grabbing
water
your
drying you
legs
out.
and then pulling you down.
Yep.
You're gonna like start coughing up, and then like the baby's gonna come out your throat. Yeah, 40X is gonna be wild for Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Prepare for it.
We have 3 more left, and then we're getting out of here. Jordan E writes in with the $5 super chat, says, Mike, you got to watch Kingdom Hearts 358 times 2 days 2. Very important for Kingdom Hearts 2.
Very straightforward lore that this franchise
could
fucking has.
Definitely be confused by even opening Kingdom Hearts 2 without it. Well, I go to my Kingdom Hearts guide, and I say, Tim, do I need to watch that?
I am always a firm proponent of release order, not chronological order.
Okay.
You'll get to 358 over 2.
Okay.
Not yet.
We'll get to that.
Not yet.
But it's not time yet.
Not yet.
Not time yet, yo. 358 over 2.
Don't worry about it. It's a DS game.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about it yet. You will need to worry about it though.
Wait till you get to Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Oh man,
And then you
Final
get to-
chapter prologue.
Final chapter prologue.
We're gonna do it all. Get ready.
2.9.
Point 2, a fragmentary passage.
Do you think?
Also, don't forget Birth by Sleep. And
Well,
also,
Birth by Sleep is essentially like Birth by Sleep is the most like jokes aside. That is Kingdom Hearts 3. Just Kingdom Hearts 0, maybe. You can call it.
Okay.
It's a core game.
Okay. Do you think Janet had as
Kingdom
much
Hearts
fun as
0.
I had in this
No, not a
experience?
She seemed to enjoy it though.
Yeah.
yeah, I think she liked it
Like,
a
do you
lot.
think she walks away going, man, like that Ricky and Mickey moment was beautiful? Kyrie.
From what I've
My
seen from her, I don't
my
think
guy
that there's
Sora.
the level of appreciation that it seems like
Okay.
you have. But I do think that she seems surprised at how into it.
Okay, good. That's great.
Which
That's
I'll
great.
fucking take,
I can't wait to see
Yeah.
her. Gonna ask her all about it. Our final 2, Zanfair says, hey guys, would love to see you guys do a shit list ranking of the GOTY medleys. Oh, okay.
That's fun.
And then the final one, Oscar writes in and says, Chain of Memories focuses on 2 stories, one of Sora and one of Ricky. Okay, that's great.
I'm not gonna ask.
Would you like to know more? I'll tell you.
I played Kingdom Hearts 1, right?
Yeah, you play Kingdom Hearts 1. It's a beautiful story.
Ricky?
Raikou.
Okay. I didn't. This whole time I'm like, who is Ricky?
Plus, you got to remember, especially from the Metal Gear stuff, like he never gives people the right names.
It's the best.
You know, we still don't know where Chad
Riku.
is. We still don't know where my brother with the other colored hair
Who's
is.
Chad?
We don't know about Jenny. At the beginning,
Jenny?
at the beginning of the beautiful story of
that's the
Kingdom Hearts
island
1,
kids?
you're on this lovely island, and you wake up, and there's Ricky and Kyrie, love triangle. We'll tell you all about that later. But then you also look over, there's Chad with the ball. You're playing ball with him. Then there's Jenny. She's just jumping rope. Turns out you got a younger brother, just with different colored hair. What happened to them?
What happened?
We'll never know. Chat, this has been your super chat. I hope you all had a great day.
Holy shit.
Can't wait to see you over in the lab. I'm going to continue Kingdom Hearts. We'll see you on that. If you're watching on Twitch, stay here. If you're watching on YouTube, new link. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow with more Kind of Funny Games Daily. Until then, thank you for watching and supporting.
Chad is Teases?